Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill. Just heard from Josh Heupel after practice number 1 of spring practice. Brent, your overall takeaways?
Well, I think the takeaway from me is that, you had a positive football coach who liked what he saw out of practice 1, but quickly calculated to everybody that it's practice 1. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to take a long time for this program. They've got a lot of things to do. But for day 1, an excited group of kids who took a lot of pride in what they did. And I think Josh Heupel would have been very disappointed had it been anything other than that, because your kids should be happy for practice 1.
More on that in a minute. Let's not bury the lead. That being Cade Salter, who is not on the practice field. He's a part of the group of now 4 players that are indefinitely suspended for some actions there at the Stokely dorm there on campus. His name not originally mentioned because he's under 18 years old.
Yeah, and he's one of 4, and all 4 of those guys are missing out on a great opportunity. But certainly at the quarterback position, the mistake Caden Salter has made is really going to put him behind in that quarterback battle. And those other quarterbacks are going to forge ahead, and it's certainly going to put him behind. And obviously making a poor decision the way that he did. Josh Heupel making it very clear that this is a university manner that they are handling this, and that he will address it when he knows more information from that side of things. He supports his players, but obviously the university is handling all of this, so there's no timetable on a potential return for any of those guys.
Outside of that, not a whole lot as far as newsworthy items, because it was the first day of spring. They were forced indoors by the rain, and you're always limited when you go indoors just because you don't have the amount of practice space that you do outside. But very pleased with the competitiveness, the energy, the mood of the team, and that's to be expected. It is the first practice of spring. They've had a long off season since the firing of one coach and the hiring of another. And I'm sure they were ready to just turn their attentions to between the white lines.
Yeah, no doubt. And as Josh Heupel said, it'll be interesting to see how they respond to practice 2, practice 3, when you get into a bit of the grind. I thought one of the interesting things that he said, Austin, that I took note of was he talked about the pride factor that this team has and the competitiveness. And, we heard a lot through the fall at times about how this team didn't act like they cared, or people wondered how much they cared, that type of thing. And he was quick to point out the pride factor that this team has shown, not just today, but throughout their offseason program to this point. Said this guys care, that they want to improve, they want to get better. And I think you're going to see, and I may be wrong on this, he may have a day where he completely melts down, but I think you're going to see Josh Heupel probably put a pretty positive spin on things, because I think he probably feels like he's got to build the confidence of his team up after 3-7 last year. As ugly as it's been, everything that these kids have been through, I don't think it's just going to be a public beatdown with these guys, because I don't feel like he thinks that that's the right direction to start this journey or this marathon off on, because it's certainly not a sprint. This program's got a long ways to go.
No doubt. That was my question, in fact. Just like, you spent this whole last 6 to 8 weeks, kind of building the confidence of the team. How do you continue to do that while turning the focus and intensity on the practice field to getting better? Because, not every practice is going to be a perfect practice, so you can't just sing Kumbaya at the end of every practice and everything be okay. I thought he gave a decent answer there. Clearly a guy that's, happy to turn his attention from all the stuff off the field to between the white lines. We'll have complete coverage as soon as Tennessee sends out video and pictures. We will have that up on the site. This has been the 2-minute drill for Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price.